Radio Brothers!
It's time for the Super Radio Brothers. I think the one just had an accident.
Yes, the Super Radio Brothers are back. We have returned broadcasting from strategic locations all across the empire. It is the Super Radio Brothers. Trent, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Rich, it's great to be here. It is fantastic. Another show. That means we had another great week. We had a great week of content. We had my baseball team's kind of mediocre right now, basically sort of like everybody else in the American League East, counting down to graduation. Graduation is less than 2 weeks away now. So or less than 3 weeks away now, I should say. But man, it's coming up, dude.
Oh, man, congratulations. Exciting times, exciting events coming up. Yeah, and a lot of content being pushed out there. Super Radio Brothers Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, a lot of new videos. Check out my review on Moon Knight Episode 3. You heard a little bit of it last week on the show. I kind of I expand on that a little bit, Trent, in the video. I don't know if you had a chance to see the incredible video it is. And
that's incredible, but I know for a fact because they call you the Magic Man. So every time you put your hands on something and create content, it's really good. So
well, that's the first time anybody's ever called me the Magic Man, but I'll take it. I like it. I'm the Magic Man.
That was a song back in the 80s.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
That's what I say now.
Content's just going to magically appear.
Whenever you say something I disagree with, Trent, I'm going to say abracadabra. You know, and that'll be my. Go ahead, say something I disagree with.
The Rays are going to win the American League East.
Abracadabra. So that way, you know, in my mind, I'm actually thinking, you idiot, you're so wrong, this and that. But I could be, you know, it's a little bit more respectful for me to just go abracadabra, you know.
Right. Yeah, I hear you, man. I get it.
Oh, man. So, yeah, definitely check it out. Cool videos. I got some more telescope vlogs up there as well. Everybody checking them out, too. Thank you very much. Man,
they like them.
No, you know, some people like them, you know, unless they just or maybe they're just watching them because I'm so good looking, you know, that could be part of it. They're like, wow, look at this guy.
I mean, you know, I think they're watching it more for content purposes.
Are you sure? Okay, I was like, man, look at this guy. That's one hot dude. That's not what's going on.
I hate to tell you, man, but I don't know.
I hate to tell you, man. Well, I don't know. I'd like to think maybe that's part of it.
Could be. You never know. It's what do they call it? It's debatable.
Thank you, Trent. It's debatable. Good point. But
it can be debated.
It's debatable, but it's from this Hell We Call Earth the News. It's debatable. However, it's a debate that has one right answer, which would be yes. You know, I'm super hot. That's why people are watching. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad we could have this very meaningful, spirited debate at the top of the show, Trent.
Well, that's just a sign of things to come. So if we hadn't hooked the listener in 30 seconds or less, then I don't know if we ever will. So just hopefully we've hooked everybody, because I think this might be a theme of the show of spirited debates.
There you go. I like that. You know, I like to have, you know, because you don't want to have what would the opposite of a spirited debate be? Lethargic debate.
A session of people agreeing with each other, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah. It's like that would be boring, wouldn't it? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
So we lead the story off with some poop news, some number 2 news, Trent. And
number 2.
Yeah, number 2. You know, is sometimes you gotta do the deuce. You know
that's it.
That's
Amen.
how you get it done, you know. It's there's nothing you could do about it.
No, it's Mother Nature. It's nature.
Yeah, it's nature, exactly. Well, but sometimes nature calls, and sometimes it has to wait, you know. You can't just do whatever you want, wherever you want, which is...
no.
Then we would cease to be civilization, Trent.
Correct, yeah.
It would be all over.
But let's not go down that road.
It's you know, people fighting, war, you know, nuclear fallout, poop everywhere. That's what would happen.
Amen. Yep,
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Oh, that's funny.
So I got you, Ghostbuster fans. All right, here we go. So an unidentified crane driver in Dublin. I always thought that was a very intimidating job. I would see, Trent, in New York City, these huge cranes on top of skyscrapers. Can you imagine that? You know, it's kind of an intimidating thing to look at. You always wonder, what if this huge, gigantic crane were to fall from the sky onto the streets below? That would be horrific. You know, a terrible thing. But it would be. That's what always kind of struck me when I was a kid. See cranes on top of these buildings. Well, but this never crossed my mind. An unidentified crane driver in Dublin, Ireland, lost his job after he recorded himself dropping a bag of his own excrement from the crane cab onto a rooftop on March 30th. This is from Dublin Live. They reported this story while flinging the six sack. I like that. That's what they call it, Trent, a six sack.
Six sack. Okay.
Yeah. That's as sick a sack as you can get, right? I agree with that statement. While flinging the six sack overboard, the man joked about the joys of being a crane driver and laughed. I picture like, a diabolic, menacing laugh, like a supervillain, Yeah. Now he joked, he laughed about it. He's throwing shit overboard on top of buildings, and everybody on social media was grossed out by it. They were horrified, Trent, horrified, the viewers who saw the video. The construction company said the driver has been removed immediately and would not work on any of our other sites in the future.
I would hope not.
They also asked social media platforms to remove the video. So all right, so this guy, he must be up in this crane for a long time. And now here's my question. Does he poop up there in a bag and throw it on rooftops? Or does he take a bag of poop with him so he can do that? And I haven't seen any of these social media videos, but that's my first question. How did he accomplish this feat? Was it on-site production, or did he do this at home and bring the poop with him? I think that's very important information when thinking about this case, Trent. And what do you think? I think it changes everything, really.
Yeah, it really does. That's an interesting story to kind of start the news with.
It's a poop story. It's all about the poop. And the one other thing I would say is, all right, if this was just to relieve yourself, why would you broadcast it on social media? Don't you know you're gonna lose your job?
Who wants to see that? That's why these people are stupid. Like, if relieving yourself is something you do in private. Nobody needs to know about your routines on how you do that.
Yeah, especially if you're throwing them from a crane on top of buildings. It doesn't make your company look good. Well, it doesn't make you look good.
Even though they were on top of the building, I don't know if I'd want to enter the building with that kind of stuff there.
Yeah, good point. All right, Trent, there you go. There's the poop news. What else you got?
Okay, well, I got one to lead off. Of course, we watch TV from time to time, or whenever we're able to. But a 63-year-old lady, she didn't say where she was from, unfortunately. I'm going to criticize the author of this story because they didn't explain, what show they were watching. So, we couldn't comment on it. But apparently, this lady was sitting in her recliner watching a show. And one of the main characters on the show told a joke. Well, apparently she found this joke so funny that she literally fell out of the chair laughing.
Oh.
Like, she was laughing so hard that she literally fell out of her chair. Like, no joke. Now, I've laughed hard, but I can't say that I've laughed that hard that I fall off a chair. Yes, I've laughed at things that were hilarious. Things said something out of the blue. I've got a friend of mine that says things that's random, and I laugh at him every time he says it. But let me tell you, she literally laughed. So she had to call the paramedics to come get some medicine. They gave her the medicine to treat her injury. Said she had some minor injuries, and it kind of had messed up her heart a little bit too, actually, because she was laughing so hard. Apparently she had some heart issues too, but she was made a full recovery. And like I said, didn't say the show she was watching. So that kind of leaves me hanging a little bit. I want to know what show this was that was so darn funny. I want to know the joke that was so darn funny.
Yeah, what's so funny? Except don't tell me the joke. I want to see if when I watch this show, it puts me on my ass too. You know what I mean? I want to see if it has the same effect on me it had on this woman. That kind of reminds me. I really dig. Stephen A. Smith's show on ESPN, First Take. Every Wednesday they have Chris Mad Dog Russo on there, and
I know Mad Dog.
Yeah, pretty entertaining. And there was one of the first episodes he was on. He almost fell out of his chair and he couldn't get back on the chair. It was pretty funny. It was almost set up. Like, there's no way this could be real, but it really was. Here's Mad Dog. You can't stay in his chair. He's falling out of it. Then there was another episode where he's doing the show remotely from another location, and his earpiece keeps falling out. And he just keeps screaming into the camera because he can't hear anybody, and it's pretty funny. So I don't know. Everybody.
And for people who don't know, Rich and I are radio guys too. When we're on the air, we have to have our headphones on, or else we can't hear anything. So especially like if you're in a room and the co-host and the other cast of characters that are on the show are in different rooms, or like for example, I'm in a different location. If Rich didn't have his headphones on, he wouldn't be able to hear me, and he would be, and vice versa. If I didn't have mine on, I wouldn't be able to hear him. Sometimes whenever he's like doing these jet rants or something, I always take them off. But that's neither here nor there. Like, what did you say? I take them off so I can cover my ears.
I just have to adjust the volume here all the way down.
Yeah, I know, all the way down. Hello, what? Can you hear me now? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I know how that is. And sometimes I hate when I'm outside and I put earbuds in whenever I'm listening to music, and one just keeps falling out. You always have that one that fits perfectly, and then one that keeps falling out, and it's so annoying. I get it.
He's like, I get it. I know what's up here. All right, Trent, let me ask you this: are you a fan of the magically delicious cereal Lucky Charms?
I ate them as a kid. I have not eaten them in quite some time, but yeah, they were good. I like Frosted Flakes better, but Lucky Charms, it's not a bad cereal, I guess.
Well, you're in luck. Don't ever eat them again, because Lucky Charms cereal is responding to investigation into thousands of reported illnesses. This is serious stuff, Trent. The FDA is investigating reports after thousands claim to have fallen sick after eating Lucky Charms cereal. This on April 18th, the brand issued a statement. Not so lucky. Magically delicious. I say magically poisonous, Trent.
Hey, it's not a deal breaker for me because I don't eat them.
When you say it's not a deal breaker, it sounds like you're going to go out and buy a box tomorrow because you got to see what's going on here.
Well, I don't want to do that. No, I wouldn't do that. Just eat at your own risk. Is what I can say about that. Are you what's your favorite cereal, Rich? You like first of all, do you even eat cereal? Like, do you eat cereal in the morning?
Oh yeah. I had stopped for a while, but I eat some cereal once in a while. My favorite is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's always the favorite.
Speaking of, what do you eat for breakfast? I'm just curious.
Every day I make myself a couple of eggs and bacon. It's
cool.
Eggs and bacon every morning, Trent.
I like it.
Make my own eggs and bacon, and it's got to be the good stuff, though. We're talking applewood smoked, thick cut bacon, not regular eggs, not large eggs, jumbo organic. We're talking about some serious breakfast here, Trent.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like how about turkey bacon? You don't like turkey bacon?
No, turkey bacon. I don't want to be offensive to you, Trent, but turkey bacon is for wusses.
I never said that I like turkey bacon. I was asking you.
I know, but the joke was that I don't want to be offensive, and I was offensive. So just
no, I know you're not. You didn't offend me because I don't like turkey.
I
bacon
hope I
either.
offended somebody. That was the goal.
Okay.
Well, Trent, more than 3,000 people on iwaspoisoned.com have alleged that the cereal, comprised of toasted oat pieces and multicolored marshmallows made them sick. What a shocker.
Wow.
Toasted oat pieces and multicolored marshmallows made you sick? I'm shocked, Trent.
Me too. Yeah, that's very shocking to me.
Real-time consumer reporting site shows that Lucky Charms complaints have been trending since late 2021 with alleged symptoms. Get ready for this, Trent. Alleged horrific symptoms, including diarrhea,
Ugh.
nausea, stomach pain, and vomiting. Wow.
Yuck. You're right about that. 4 horrific symptoms, all right.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
So there you go. I guess Lucky Charms under some fire here lately, man. That's so sad.
Well,
so sad.
I always worry. I have to say I've had food poisoning a time in my life, and it's nasty. It is nasty both literally and figuratively. I don't like it. I don't wish it on anyone. And it just I can't imagine doing that. That's rough.
Oh yeah, I had some food poisoning. I thought I was gonna die. It was terrible.
Oh no.
It was terrible.
Oh, my worst food poisoning story was whenever I was on a trip back in 2019. I went to the beach and went to the beach for a couple days over the summer, and kind of wanted to get out of town. I had just finished a semester of school, so I was like, okay, I'm ready to kind of unwind and take a break, and that's perfectly normal. So I was going to do that, and I get over there and I start feeling nauseous the first night I was there. And that was basically my trip in a nutshell. I was nauseous the entire time, and it was horrible. So that was like one of the worst trips I've ever been on in my life.
That sounds terrible. That's terrible.
I just said. Yeah, it's bad.
That's not fun at all. Yeah, my worst was I believe it was White Castle. I hate it, but it was true. It was one bad night of White Castle. I remember. I was up in New York, in the Bronx, and I was actually in the middle of writing a song, and I was recording and everything, and I got hungry. I had been at it all day, and I said, I got some ideas, but let me get some food real quick. Got some White Castle, sat down in front of my computer, and I was done. It was just
no.
It was a night. So
it was like almost an immediate reaction.
Yeah, it took a little while, but by after about an hour or so, I sat down, looking at the computer screen, about to try to get into it again, get the creative juices flowing, but those weren't the juices that were flowing. There were other kinds of juices that started flowing. You know what I mean? And
full disclaimer: if you're planning on eating right now, you might want to hold off for about an hour or two until the show.
That was a horrible situation.
As Charles Barkley would say, that's terrible.
Terrible. It is terrible, though. It is terrible.
Well, you know what also is terrible? This is a nice segue. I don't know. I'll give you my thoughts after you give me mine. But
right.
after you give me yours. But
right.
Anyway, so have you ever ridden a mountain bike, Rich?
Sure.
Do you like to bike at all?
Sure. Yeah, I've had especially. When I was younger in New York, and I'm sure it's the same way here for kids, the only way to really get around if you want to travel a good distance is on a bike. You get on your bike and you go. So, yeah, there was a time where it was like a lot of kids, just me and my bike. Let's go.
Well, this guy, a thief, decided it'd be a good idea. I think I want a little mountain bike. So he went to a residence and ended up stealing it. Well, he felt so guilty. His conscience spoke to him, or friends encouraged him to give it back or something. So he gives it back. But to make up for stealing it, he decides to attach a note, an apology note. I kind of wish I had the contents of the note so I could read what it said. And then he said he also attached a chocolate bar to it as well. So you better hope that the owner likes chocolate, number one. You better hope that the owner is not allergic to chocolate, to the chocolate that he gave him. But to try to make up for his ill-advised action that he took, he decided to give to attach chocolate bar, and a posted note to the bike. And guess what, Rich? Shocker, the guy got arrested.
Oh, he shouldn't get arrested. That's, at least he did something. He tried to make amends. He tried to do what was right. And I think the chocolate was a nice touch. I would say at least 110% of people on this planet love chocolate. And I think those are actual numbers. And the people who are allergic to chocolate still eat chocolate. So, and I think that's a fact as well. So I think that was a good point. A good idea to attach the chocolate with the bike, and he returned the bike. He felt bad about it, so I'm glad that he did the right thing. So it's a shame maybe he got punished for doing the right thing. I never think that's good. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, I like. I don't know about you, but I'm more of like a Reese's peanut butter cup kind of guy. Like I love that kind of chocolate.
Oh, peanut butter cup's my favorite.
That's your fave, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Dude. You got to have some milk to go with that stuff too. Like Reese's peanut butter, like have a glass of milk with it. Oh, so good, so good. Now I'm hungry. Now it's gonna make me. You know what? I'm trying to eat healthier, and next thing you know, I'm gonna have to go and do some Reese's at some point.
There's no chance being healthy if you listen to this show. Come on.
No,
it's I'm already thinking about I'm thinking about peanut butter cups. I'm thinking about some cereal, some Lucky Charms. Let's go. I want to eat.
Let's go.
I want to eat some peanut butter cups in my Lucky Charms right now.
In your Lucky Charms.
Yeah, think about that. That's going crazy. I'm wild, right?
I second that.
I'm pretty wild. I'm a wild dude. I know.
I knew that, but I didn't think you were that crazy.
Yeah, now that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's just weird. Yeah, that's very weird.
So, a bunch of these kids, pretty funny. On St. Patrick's Day, they were having their student picture day. Student picture day. Trent, you show up to school and you take a picture with your classmates. Well, at this school. Sugar Grove Elementary School in Center Grove, Indiana, on Picture Day. It happened to fall on St. Patrick's Day. So the geniuses there who are taking pictures take pictures of the students in front of a green screen while all the kids are wearing green. What happens when you do that? Everybody's invisible. Man. I mean, yeah, exactly. At least it's not like the old days where they actually used film. At least all this stuff is digital. But can you imagine?
Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, like I hated picture day whenever I was in school. Like that I did not like to dress up as a child. I was more of the casual, all day, every day kind of guy. But I know that you can't do that. So I had to wear the collared shirts, and I had to wear the dress pants whenever I had to get pictures taken and everything. And man, I always, that was something I was always nervous about, picture day. I don't know. I don't know how you felt about it. I don't know if they did that in your school. But I'm not a big, was never a huge picture day person.
I love picture day because it meant we didn't have to be in class. And we all had to go.
That too. I was okay with that.
Yeah, we all had to go sit in the auditorium and wait to get our pictures taken so we could goof off and act like idiots. So it was way better to me than being in class. So I was all about picture day. Here's one parent, Amanda Snow. She said her son's green hoodie turned into a fence. And what a good mother. He had a green mohawk, but it was completely gone. I wish I had a mohawk when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, I did too.
My mom would never let me have a green mohawk in elementary school, Trent.
No, mine didn't either. But my mom also, she allowed me to have what's called a high and tight haircut. The high, the high and tight. The haircuts kind of like shave off the side. You kind of have you kind of shave the hair kind of up top a little bit, cut it short, and then basically shave it to like almost nothing on the sides. Yeah, that was my hairstyle back in whenever I was in school, like a high and tight, kind of like a Marine Corps style haircut. That's my mom insisted that I wore that kind of haircut.
Well, they call that like a crew cut, something, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, a crew cut.
Yeah. Wow, look at you, military man. Ready to go out and kick some ass. Basically.
Well, my hair's a little longer today than it has, but I try to keep it relatively short. I haven't had a haircut in like 2 or 3 weeks, so I need to go get one at some point.
Well, he's gone from crew cuts to.
I like going to my barber because I can talk sports with him. He's a real avid Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, which you are not.
I'm not. No.
So I'm able to talk to him about sports and what have you. So it's a nice time for me to be able to get in there and have a nice time.
There was a time where I really didn't even care about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but now I straight up hate them because they have Tom Brady. It's
at least for one more year.
Well, hey, one more year is better than no more years, right? So that changed quick.
Well, yeah, one more year. But he did say, which we'll talk a little bit about in my sports segment too, but he did participate in an exclusive interview with ESPN, and he admitted that he knew that he was near the end. So he had some interesting comments, and we'll delve into those later. But I digress talking about the Buccaneers to say that's just one of many reasons why I like my barber, is because he is a big-time avid Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, and I can actually talk sports with the guy. So
all right.
I'll take it.
Trent at the barber shop, chilling, hanging out, getting the cut.
I'm sure
talking
you like
sports.
Haven't you been to one of those like super cuts and they talk sports and have a blast with each other in there?
When I go to super cuts, nobody ever talks to me. I
wonder why.
And my haircut's usually about 2 minutes. They want to get me out of there, Trent. I don't get it. It's
that's why you have to initiate the conversation. You got to start. Hey, how you doing? Usually, what you're supposed to do is the barber is kind of supposed to follow the lead of the customer that's in the chair. If they want to talk, you talk to them. It's kind of like also too, like if you're in a cab, I guess it's kind of the same way. Like if you're, the driver wants to talk, I guess you can talk to him, and
that's a good point. Sometimes you get those annoying guys, though. Like there are cab drivers that initiate conversation. Though there are barbers that initiate conversation, and sometimes I just don't want to talk. You know what my problem is, Trent? It's hard for me when I'm in public to get over my dislike for other people. So it's it's a fundamental issue. What can I tell you?
Well, we've hung out in public a few times, and I'm honored that you speak to me whenever I'm in public.
You're one of the few I'll talk to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're one of the, I think I'm one of the few you talk to on a daily basis, but I mean,
Oh, yeah, you and Freya.
I'll take it. Yeah, your dog, but it's interesting.
Freya's my friend. Other than that, I can't have friends.
She gives the same response. Her response is always consistent.
That's not true. Sometimes it's roof. Sometimes it's just roof. Sometimes it's growl. There are different methods of communication that come from the animal. Okay.
That's true.
So,
why don't you give another story? I got to pull another one up here, but while I'm doing that, why don't you nail yours? I gotta go. I lost my paper. I gotta go track it down.
All right, you lost your paper. Be careful. Sometimes those papers, they cause trouble. Well, speak of revenge and a dude that just can't let go. Don't be like this. This dude, Jordan Cabold, 21-year-old dude, he broke it off with his girlfriend, Alicia Moy. Well, she broke it off with him after just a few weeks of dating. So sad, so sad. I know, right? She was ready to move on, but clearly, as things progress, he was not. Metro News reported on March 31st, a couple of weeks after they met, Cabold suggested he take a key to her flat. This is in England, so it's a flat. I don't know if you know that, Trent. In England, it's not an apartment; it's a flat. So
okay.
So he went to her flat. He wanted to. It was only a couple of weeks, and he wanted keys to her flat already, and that was just red flags for her. Her mom was telling her, "Hell no, get out of this thing." So she broke it off. Well, guess what? He got the key to her flat, right? And since he had it after they broke up, he went to her house, and guess what he did? He poured beans and spaghetti in her shoes, in her closet. Yeah, what an interesting mode of revenge, right? Well, that wouldn't even cross my mind. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to her house and put beans and spaghettis in her shoes and in her closet and splatter ketchup all over the walls. That's some serious revenge, Trent.
Yeah, that really is like.
Well, I guess it was creative, if anything, but pretty expensive. Damage was estimated at about $2,000. So he caused some damage. Police, of course, arrested him. A few days later, he was fined, given community service, and a restraining order. So come on, man. You're a young dude. Break up. You don't have to, you don't have to put spaghettis and beans in someone's shoes. It's messed up. It's not cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, I hear you there. But it's wild. I hate to hear that. Look, you're gonna break up sometimes, okay? You're gonna break up. You're gonna go through hardship, but pouring spaghetti and shoes, you're gonna have to buy some new shoes, and then next thing you know, the girl puts on her shoes and feels like something wet in there, feels the sauce kind of melted, and it's like, what? Like it's gonna scare the living daylights out of her. She's not expecting that.
Yeah, can you imagine? She actually put the shoes on, and it's spaghetti shoes. It's like, I don't remember eating in my room. What's going on here? Oh my goodness! All my shoes have beans and spaghettis in them. How did this happen? Probably wasn't too hard for her to figure out.
Yeah.
And Trent, sometimes guy can't let go and does some dumb shit like that, and to mess with an ex-girlfriend. And some dudes do too much to impress a woman, Trent. Maybe you take it a bit too far, like this Brevard County man who was arrested Tuesday night after being clocked driving more than 100 miles per hour on 95, and said he was showing off for his girlfriend. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, he's 19 years old, and he was observed attempting to overtake a vehicle in the left lane of northbound I-95 in Melbourne, kicking up debris from the shoulder and nearly colliding with the vehicle he was passing. Talk about reckless driving from a 19-year-old. He was driving at 112 miles per hour, soon accelerating up to 125 miles per hour.
Good Lord, have mercy.
But Trent, you've been on a highway, the 95, especially I-95. To act like this is a huge story, I see people going a $120 every day on 95. You're driving the speed limit 70, 75, and people cruise by you like you're going 20.
Yeah, my granddad and I had a close call on 95 a few months ago. Thank the Lord, nothing happened to us, but we were driving, and all of a sudden some cars just stopped in front of us, and we had a guy going at least 20 miles over the speed limit, kind of coming behind us, and it didn't look like he was going to get stopped. So my granddad made a quick maneuver, got out of the way, and thankfully everything was just peachy after that. But I mean, you talk about scary on those interstates, man. People say that the 4-lane highways with stoplights aren't safe. Try going I-95. Try driving those interstates, not just 95, but I-4, I-75, I-275, and Tampa, St. Pete. It's those things are wild. And I guess it's not really that uncommon to see guys going 120 miles an hour, because you do these days. It's common.
I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like everybody is speeding on I-95. If you're going speed limit, everybody's just boogieing past you.
Don't you hate going on that highway?
Oh, it's the worst. It really is, especially if you have to drive for any kind of distance. And while I-95 is terrible, so is I-4. But at least I-4, you get down to Orlando, it starts to slow down a little bit. Because it has to. But
yes.
Anyway, enough of this traffic report, but brought to you by The Poop News, where poop gets poopier.
Well, I can shift the report after you get done, so we're all good.
You got another story?
I do.
What you got?
Okay, so this guy, I don't know when this took place, but I found it. This guy, I happened to be scrolling through some old things and found this. But Rich, have you ever been to a Starbucks? You like Starbucks, don't you?
Sure. Yeah. I'm into all of that Starbucks stuff. It's really good stuff. What can I tell you? And they have good. By the way, Starbucks pretty good lunch sandwiches as well. So.
Okay, I've never had their lunch sandwich. That's good. Okay, I appreciate it. I'll go check that out. But anyway, this guy was not wanting a lunch sandwich. He ordered through the drive-thru at Starbucks down in Miami, and he ordered, I guess, a bagel or something, because apparently the wait staff, the workers at Starbucks, did not put his cream cheese in the bag. So he was very, very irate that he didn't have cream cheese. So he went up to the window, knocked on the window. I guess he realized it whenever he's pulling out, so he turned around and kind of pulled back into the parking lot area in the drive-through and said, "Excuse me, man, where's my cream cheese?" He kept trying to he was yelling and screaming, and all of a sudden he turned violent to the Starbucks employee. So he called the police. Apparently, he was yelling at the daughter of the police chief of that particular town. It's not necessarily in the police chief. I guess this was the police chief of Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
I see. So the police chief's daughter is working at this Starbucks, and he was yelling at her.
Correct. Yeah. So the guy ends up without incident getting arrested for turning violent at this Starbucks because of cream cheese, because of not having cream cheese.
I'll say that's going too far, but it can be extremely frustrating, and it's happened a couple of times to me recently to order some food and get the wrong order, and you paid money for this, and sometimes the people doing the job don't care enough to get the right order, or just a mistake is made. Whatever it is, it's just extremely frustrating to order something and get the wrong order. It's not cool.
What's the worst mistake you've ever dealt with at a fast food joint?
I mean, you just get the completely opposite thing of what you ordered. You don't even know what it is. You're like, what the heck is this? And you're looking forward to one thing, and you paid your money for one thing, and you got something else. It's not cool.
So you order a double cheeseburger, and then you get a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. I ordered a double cheeseburger, and they gave me a banana. What do they think this is? The Olympics? I need a burger.
Yeah, I hear you. It's wild, but hey, that wraps it up for my part of the news. But I want to hear what you have going on.
All right,
just a
couple things left here for the news today. How about this guy living the dream, man? Ohio man goes on an all beer diet for Lent to lose weight and gain money for charity. By the way, Trent, I started this diet today, which is why my performance on this show is so good right now. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm thinking about.
Those are what the slur. Those are the slurring of the words. That's where that came from.
That's what's happening, Trent.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing the news like this. Maybe I should do this story like that. An Ohio man decided to give up everything for beer.
That sounds natural.
For Lent. So, and he's using it to raise money for charity. His name is Del Hall. He's the owner of Chicago, Ohio. Chicago's in Ohio, right? It's those beers, Trent. 16 Lots Brewing Company. He began his all-beer diet in 2019 over the 40-day fast. Not only did he lose 40 pounds, but Hall says he felt great in the process ever since. Hall decided to make the fast his tradition, but he began to add a goal to his unusual diet in 2020, raising money for charity while also losing weight. According to his GoFundMe page, from 2020, Hall lost 50 pounds and raised $10,000 for a charity during the pandemic. While many people worry about his health over the 40 days, Hall says, "Don't worry about me, I'm just drunk." No, that's not what he said. Hall said in the past that he consulted his doctor about the choice. She said, "You're an idiot." No, she actually said, "Yeah, you can do this," but and she knows how strong-willed I am. So once she knew I was determined to see this through, she recommended I take multivitamins, stay hydrated, and she told me not to do anything stupid like cocaine. No, she didn't say that last part. Hall says that he will also drink water to stay hydrated, but all of his calories come from beer. That might be the greatest sentence I've ever heard in my life. All of his calories come from beer. That's just brilliant.
It's okay. My granddad tried to do this diet one time too. He really thought about it. He's like, man, I ought to go on an all liquid diet and drink beer, drink a 24-pack a day, and I'll be set.
I don't know if I drink a couple beers, it actually makes me hungry. I'm not sure how this works, but anyway, this year Hall is raising money for the Ken Anderson Alliance, a nonprofit organization that helps adults with disabilities find work and other opportunities. A cause personal to him. According to the website where people can donate, Hall has a daughter with special needs and saw this as a great opportunity to conduct his fast while supporting the charity. So that's pretty awesome, man. And what a great idea. What a great way to raise money, drinking beer. I can't think of a better concept than that. That's
I can't either. That sounds good.
That's right up there with feeding the hungry, and anything. Think of the greatest things on earth. Imagine drinking beer to make it better. I'm drinking beer to feed the hungry. I'm drinking beer to help the children. It's great. What can you say? That's the greatest thing I've ever heard, ever. Maybe the second greatest.
Hey, why not, man? Whatever you can do to raise money, and especially for things like that, local charities and local initiatives. Hey, more power to you. Congratulations.
Hey, he's not only drinking beer for himself, Trent. He's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for a higher cause.
He's trying to help the community.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That should be commended, even if it's he's accomplishing that by getting shit-faced. But still. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So, and finally, here on the news today, this is pretty amazing. Trent, you ever have a dog, or you ever been close to a dog?
Oh, I like dog.
You like dog?
I love dogs. I have a Chihuahua.
That's right. Now. You have a Chihuahua. And don't you love your furry friend? Your
Oh, I love him. I love my. He's kind of annoying at times, but hey, I'm sure just like people, dogs can get annoying too, but they're always so loyal. It's like they have a renewed kind of, they don't hold grudges. If something happens, you talk about humans. Some humans don't hold grudges. Well, dogs literally don't. Because they're so faithful to you. That's why I like them a lot.
So cool that your dog is a Chihuahua, Trent, because this story is actually about a Chihuahua, believe it or not. And believe it or not, a Chihuahua, and we do love Guinness Book of World Records on this show. A Chihuahua recently won the Guinness Book of World Records for being the oldest dog in the world. So this Chihuahua is the oldest dog in the world. Now in Guinness Book of World Records, this Chihuahua, Trent, is 21 years old.
Whoa, and that's a lot. And let me do the math here because, they say that dog years, they go by sevens. At least I've always heard that myth. So,
yeah. I think if I could do the math real quick here, 21 to, I think it's about 750 years old, which is amazing if you think about how old this dog is.
Yeah, it does. That's true. You're right about that.
I think my math is good, right?
No, not
what?
Exactly.
Oh.
I did the quick math here, and I have gotten 156. 21 divided by 21 times 7 is 156.
So if you were to do that in human years, that dog would also be the oldest human ever recorded.
Oh yeah, and my grandmother had a Chihuahua. Her name was Nikki, and she lived till she was like 16, 17 years old. So I can attest that Chihuahuas can live long. That seems like they every time I've had a Chihuahua, they've lived into at least till they hit double digits.
My dog, the Pebbles, was alive for 18 years, man. That dog. So there are dogs.
It's always hard when you lose them, though.
About I would say 8 years ago or so.
No, I said it's always hard when you lose them.
Oh yeah, sure. It's difficult. They're members of the family. What can you say? It makes me well up right now thinking about all the dogs I've had in my life, Trent. Why did you make me think about this? I blame you.
Well, you're the one that brought up Chihuahuas.
Oh, but you're the one that did the. You're the one that. Whew, thank goodness. Saved by the bell.
Super Radio Rundown.
We can happily end that segment saying it was Trent's fault. Okay. Moving on here. The Super Radio Rundown, Trent. And there's a lot going on in the world of entertainment. And let's start with Netflix. I'm a big Netflix fan. I think they lost something when they lost the Marvel shows, because I remember at the time one of the big reasons I got Netflix in the first place was because they had all those Marvel shows coming out. And you really wonder, well, what do they got going on? What's coming out? They've had some Ryan Reynolds movies coming out. They had the one with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock and Gal Gadot, and that was a pretty big movie. What was the name of that one? It was Red something. And recently you had the Ryan Reynolds time traveling movie. So they're putting out some movies with some stars, but I don't know if they're things to get super excited about. They still have some great shows to get pumped up about. Obviously Ozark, but that's about to end. But apparently not enough for a lot of people, Trent. Netflix has lost subscribers for the first time in over a decade. Don't cry, Trent. Are you sniffling for Netflix over there? I heard you get a little upset. Yeah,
it's so sad.
It's too much for Trent to handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like Netflix is hurtling towards a bumpy 2022 as the company recently revealed in a letter to its shareholders that over 200,000 subscribers have jumped ship this quarter. Not only that, but Netflix is also expecting to lose a further 2 million subscribers next quarter as well, which is pretty shocking when you consider the service hasn't actually lost subscribers since October 2011. Netflix puts the loss of subscribers down to the subscription cost increase in January and claims COVID-19 clouded the picture due to big subscriber gains in 2020. So Netflix supports that subscriptions were down 200,000 in total from last quarter. And also, it technically lost a whopping 700,000 subscribers due to suspending its service in Russia over the country's attack on neighboring Ukraine. So tough times if you're in the world of Netflix. One of the things you got to come up with and there's so much competition now. We talked about it last week, Trent. Disney Plus, Hulu, the list goes on and on and on. Amazon, so many streaming services out there right now. Paramount Plus, you just keep going on and on and on. So there's some competition now for Netflix, but I guess that's the American way, right?
Absolutely, yeah, that is the American way. It's not a lot of people. Excuse me. I use a lot of people use Hulu. I'm more of a Hulu person. I like what do they call it, Fubo TV. I like that kind of streaming service. I used to use Netflix a lot, but I really don't use it anymore.
Not that. Yeah, I find myself watching less Netflix. Like I said, I'm still definitely really looking forward to the end of Ozark here, but. Yeah, Netflix, they're going to have to start coming up with more ideas if they're going to compete with Disney Plus and Hulu and that whole thing. Because it's hard to beat that bundle.
I feel like there's more of a selection of shows on the other platforms.
Yeah, now that Hulu has that triumvirate with ESPN and Disney Plus, they have that bundle that they could package. You're just getting more bang for your buck. So if you're going to choose between those three services and Netflix, you're probably going to go with the Hulu, ESPN, Disney bundle.
And don't forget about Apple TV. You got to throw Apple TV in the mix because they're trying to compete. Like, for example, I'll talk about this in the sports, but the Rays White Sox game this past Friday night was not on the normal channel of Bally Sports Sun. It was actually on Apple TV. and we had to listen to dumb broadcasters who were, they were okay, but they weren't Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson. And I got my whole opinion. I think, Apple TV is trying to take over the sports world, and, it's eliminating the people who don't want to pay for Apple TV and the streaming services. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
And you missed the big news there. That's huge news. But also, did you hear this week, and we could talk about this more in sports too, but this is kind of the same conversation. We could talk about it here. With Apple TV, the NFL Sunday Ticket is fine. They've finally been able to cut their ties with DirecTV. And everybody knew that.
I did get that, yes.
Yeah, everybody knew that was coming. And did you hear who's going to have the NFL ticket? It's going to be Apple TV. So
I guess that's definitely a pro.
That's a huge thing when you consider. I think for a lot of people who wanted to have something like the NFL ticket, you're a fan of an out-of-market team, and it's frustrating, and oh my goodness, in order to watch my team, I gotta drop not only $300 and change for this NFL Sunday ticket, which is a lot of money for the football season. But hey, people are gonna dole out the money they want to watch their team. But not only did you have to do that, but you have to subscribe to a cable service, which is a much bigger deal than subscribing to a streaming service like Apple TV. If I have DirecTV, most likely I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month on this cable provider for a ton of channels I really don't even want. And then on top of that, when NFL season comes around, the reason I got the darn thing, which is to have the NFL ticket, now I got to drop another $300, on top of being, locked in contract with this cable provider. So I think it's better for NFL fans in the sense that, hey, now I don't have to subscribe to a cable provider. Now all I need is this one streaming service, which is like $15 a month rather than hundreds of dollars for DirecTV. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. And I used to have my grandparents still have DirecTV. We don't have it anymore. We have Comcast. I'm sorry, not Comcast, Xfinity. We got Xfinity TV now. But I always enjoyed, whenever they did buy the NFL Sunday ticket one year. I enjoyed watching all of the games, but now we just watch NFL Red Zone, or I'll just keep it on like NFL Network during football games if I can't get the out of market games, because I do that for a couple of reasons. Excuse me. The main reason is I play fantasy football, so I have to make sure that that I know who's which one of my players is succeeding and which one is doing well, and all that kind of thing. So it's NFL Red Zone is definitely critical for what I do.
Oh yeah, and Red Zone's great, but if you're a fan of a specific team, I like Red Zone and I like jumping around the league and all of that, but I want to watch the Jet game. God help me, I don't know why.
You want to watch every aspect of it.
I don't know why I want to watch the Jet game, but I want to watch the Jet game. Can you imagine dropping $300 to watch the Jets, Trent?
I wouldn't.
I mean, let's be honest here, though. You are a Buccaneers fan. There were a lot of thin years there. So you know somewhat of what it's like to root for a team that's not getting it done.
No, I do, but then again, I've always, kind of always been in that Tampa Bay area for my entire life, so I can't say that I've had to buy a Sunday ticket in order to watch the Buccaneers, because they've always been on, except for the seasons that they were blacked out home game wise in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh yeah, so that's true. So
I'm only about an hour and a half east of Tampa, by the way.
You haven't really had to think about it, but hey, you're such a big fan. Let's say you move to another state, you would want to see your Buccaneer games, right? I mean, that would be.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, I understand this. Yeah, especially now, it would be worth paying because Tom Brady's there.
Oh yeah, you don't want to miss these years. These are the it's not going to get much better than this. You know.
Yeah. It could be our decline could be coming in 2023.
Well, you know, it could happen, or you get somebody who's even better than Tom Brady. You know, I'm sure there are good odds on that.
That's possible.
Maybe it'll happen. All right. So Trent, there is a beloved Taco Bell menu item that received 200 signatures to bring back. A bunch of people signed a petition. More than 200,000 people signed a petition to bring back something I've never had before, the Mexican pizza. So whatever that is, people brought it back.
Does it say what time?
Huh? Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Let's see. I can tell you this: singer and rapper Doja Cat.
I know her. Baby, I need to know.
Oh yeah, break it down, Trent. Get down. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Doja Cat.
You know Doja Cat. The restaurant chain says she's the voice of the Taco Bell people.
Wow.
She made the announcement during a weekend concert about the pizza's return. A video of that announcement was shared on Twitter on Monday. Let's see. I think this is what she said. Like many Indian Americans who grew up vegetarian, we had limited access to the fun, fast food. So Taco Bell became a bridge to belonging in American culture for many kids like me who grew up in immigrant households. Actually, that's a Taco Bell super fan saying that, not Doja Cat. So very disappointing. I'm not going to read this person's quote any longer because it's very long.
You got to give credit where credit's due, man.
Because it's a very long quote, and it's just not Doja Cat. So I'm not down with it.
That's a producer fail right there.
The major fail. I failed. So, hey, apparently it's vegetarian because the Mexican pizza was a favorite among vegetarians as people who can order it without beef. So I guess you can have beef, which is preferred, I think. But
man, I gotta have the beef.
You got, or you're gonna ask, where's the beef? Where's the beef? So great news! There was finally a trailer for the new Thor movie, which is pretty exciting, and it showed Jane Foster, aka Natalie Portman, as Thor for the first time. And I really dug the Lady Thor story arc. I actually read that, written by Jason Aaron, definitely one of the great comic book writers of all time. So basically, Jane Foster, who is the earthly love interest of Thor, she gets really bad cancer, and she refuses magical treatment, but eventually she's deemed worthy of Mjolnir, the mystical Uru mallet of Thor. And it was a great story arc. It was pretty fun. Also, what was great about that story arc was just the fact that Thor himself was unworthy to wield the hammer. So pretty cool. It was a good trailer. It was cool to finally get a look at Natalie Portman all decked out as Lady Thor. Really looking forward to that next installment to the franchise. Thor's been on fire. Those movies are hilarious, and I'm sure this one will be pretty funny too. Let's see, what else do I have here for you? More superhero movie news here. Sharon Stone joins DC's Blue Beetle as a villain. She's headed back to the DC universe because this happened before. I know everybody remembers, well, maybe not everybody, but back in 2004, there was a Catwoman movie starring Halle Berry, and yes, Sharon Stone was the villain in that movie, and I'm not sure what villain she's going to be in this movie, but hey, she's going to be in the movie. So Sharon Stone, she will be a part of the DC Extended Universe as a villain in Blue Beetle. So that's pretty exciting there. Matt Reeves is trying to clean up some of the stuff with the Joker reference in the movie. A lot of fans really, you got the 5-minute deleted scene. By the way, you want to see my video, my review of that deleted scene, available Super Radio Brother Highlights, YouTube. Go check it out. But Reeves he doesn't want to be married to the idea of having the Joker in the second installment of Robert Pattinson's The Batman. He doesn't want to be married to that at all. He says it was just kind of something out of the 1960s Batman TV shows where sometimes you would see these villains come together, and he thought it was a great way to end the Paul Dano Riddler arc. I think I don't agree with that. I think it was probably originally part of the plan, but after he got this guy in there to play the Joker, he realized, this doesn't work as good as I want it to, and he kind of abandoned the idea. That scene didn't even make the movie. Thank you. And, anyway, Trent, that's Matt Reeves.
No, thank you.
What? Well, you're welcome. What did I do?
Yeah, I heard you say thank you, so I said no, thank you.
Well, all I can say is you're welcome. You're welcome, Trent.
Hey, no problem at all.
Oh my goodness gracious! But hey, sometimes you got to be polite, even when you're doing a show. And if I say thank you, you say,
"You're welcome."
Video game, video game, yeah. You're welcome for video game news as well, okay? But before I even get started, you're welcome. And I think this is a great story. This is really cool because I actually have experienced this in my life with my dad. The headline of this article is How Pricey Video Games Have Sucked in Millions of Senior Citizens. So, if you think that it's just some young nerd, some dude who doesn't leave his bedroom, if they're the only ones playing video games, it's not true. Older Americans are refusing to say game over. They're down with the games, man. Millions of senior citizens across the country are splashing serious cash on video games, saying they help keep their brains stimulated and create a bond with younger family members.
Love it.
And yeah, that was me and my dad. He got into video games for a while there, and we would play together. The findings, as a matter of fact, I was helping my dad get out of a part of Call of Duty just a week ago, Trent. So
he's playing Call of Duty? Like what game? What number?
Whatever the new one is. I'm not really into Call of Duty. He's actually more into it than me. So whatever the latest one is, he was playing it, and he couldn't get out of this part, so I had to give him a hand over there. But the findings come from a new survey published by a gaming website called Fandom Spot. The results of this study came out Tuesday. The surprising results buck the wildly held stereotype that video games are purely played by teenage boys.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Old people don't just want to sit on the porch and watch leaves fall anymore. They want to have fun, says Fandom Spot's Alyssa Saletti. She said that in a statement provided with the Post. The study might even encourage more senior citizens to give gaming a go for some of the benefits cited by their peers. The site polled 1,000 video game players aged 65 and older, finding almost half spent at least $500 in the past year on consoles, games, and accessories. More than 3/4 of those polled said the games helped them to keep a healthy younger mind, while 76% said they facilitated relationships with family and friends. That finding also refutes the cliche that video games foster isolation and antisocial behaviors. So Yep.
I like that because it is true. I mean, people don't realize, but when you play video games, your brain is constantly active. You're basically, even though you're not physically, moving through, but you're in a simulator, the game is moving through a specific area and you have to, execute different. It basically teaches you to execute in under pressure situations where, you have to make sure that you are, doing the right thing in order to, win the game just, for you to win it, but also, you could be going through a situation. Of course, the situations are enhanced now for game situations, but it's basically trying to teach you life. People don't realize it, but video games do teach you life lessons a lot of times.
Oh yeah, and part of what you're saying is also that hey, it's something that keeps you on your feet. You got to think fast and make certain things happen and have
If
quick
you don't
reaction
use the
time.
part of your brain that allows you to think fast, you lose it.
Yeah, it's just, you can't be slow. 100%. There's a lot of video game movie news. Classic Sega game Streets of Rage film is in the works. That's pretty exciting. And you just had Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a big film. So, I guess producers are giving more Sega franchises a shot. This time, Streets of Rage, which the guy Derek Kolstad, who created the John Wick action franchise, and penned the Bob Odenkirk action movie Nobody, wrote the script for this movie. So that's pretty good because those are two pretty awesome things. John Wick is great. Nobody was pretty awesome as well. So pretty interesting to have an accomplished action writer coming up with the script for Streets of Rage. That's kind of pretty surprising. Also, apparently there are talks out there right now for a God of War film franchise, which would also be. I love the old God of War games. I'm just not a huge fan of the recent games, the last two that were released by Sony. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like God of War anymore. I don't like the action. I just couldn't get into it, and it was critically acclaimed and people really dig it. I just I don't know, I really not a big fan of the recent God of War games, but a movie might be pretty awesome. And finally, on video game news, Trent, are you a big Snoop Dogg fan?
Oh yeah, I like his music.
D-O to the double G-O.
D-O double G backup. One of my favorite songs by him is Who Am I? What's My Name? That's a great song.
Oh, man. Can you give us a bar of that, Trent?
No.
That would have been amazing if you would have just started breaking down some rhymes, man. I would have been way into that,
I like Drop It Like It's Hot. I like, all those songs. Those songs are good.
Oh, what was the one? He got my money on my mind and my mind on my money.
My money on my mind and my mind on my money.
Yeah, that's my track right there. That's my Snoop Dogg track. No, Snoop Dogg's a character. He's actually become a household name in the country. Every family in America knows who Snoop Dogg is, right? He works with Martha Stewart now. Well, Snoop Dogg is also a prolific gamer. One of the great things I ever heard on the Howard Stern show a couple years ago, the new Madden had come out, and this has happened to me with games before too. It's extremely frustrating. You get a new game, and it's an online game. You're looking for competition. You want to play with other people, and all of a sudden the server goes down, right?
Oh.
And there are a couple of times that have happened where that was really I remember when this game Destiny came out, which was like an online action MMO. It was a shooter, but it was all about being in a community with other people, and the only way to play was online. That's the difference with some of these games as well. Like with Destiny, if you weren't playing online, you weren't playing. There was no offline game at all. So if the server goes down, you're completely screwed. I remember, I think it was Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. All I'm thinking about is, I got some days off here, just got this game, gonna sit down, spend some time with this. And what happens? The servers are down.
Oh, no. Especially not on, people are going to have time off during the Christmas and the New Year's holiday. That's when most people are going to be playing the games. You got to keep the servers up or get them up as soon as possible if you can.
Oh, man, it was awful. So, similar thing happened to Snoop Dogg. Madden had just come out, getting ready to play, and the servers go down. So I don't know how the audio of this got out there. Maybe Snoop put it out himself, but Howard got it. And Snoop keeps calling Sony, really angry, like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with this Madden, homie? Like, this is ruining everybody's holiday, all this. But eventually they fixed it, and I think it was the power of Snoop Dogg, man. He kept calling and complaining, and he needed his Madden back, and they got him his Madden.
Do you have the audio of one of his phone calls?
It's very vulgar.
Okay.
But also, I don't know. It was a Howard Stern thing. I'm sure he doesn't own it, so I'm sure if you wanted to find it, you could find it on YouTube or something.
I'll look at it on YouTube. Yeah,
that's where I heard it. I heard it on Howard Stern. Anyway, Snoop Dogg also likes himself some Call of Duty. So Snoop Dogg, the character, the avatar, has been added to Call of Duty in time for April 20th. For 420, because that's the day that people celebrate marijuana, and Snoop Dogg, obviously, he is a big proponent.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, he's a big proponent of his war zone and his pot. So Snoop Dogg has arrived in Call of Duty Vanguard and Warzone just in time for the weed worshiping day of 420, and that's exciting, isn't it? Snoop comes equipped with the Bong Ripper sniper rifle. I wonder what that looks like. West Coast Bling assault rifle, and this is a good one. The Shiznit submachine gun. So that's pretty good. He comes with the Shiznit submachine gun. So that's pretty good. So it's a pretty expensive add-on though. Wow. So I guess in order to get Snoop, I don't know about the points because I don't play Call of Duty. It says in order to get Snoop, you need 2,400 COD points or just $19.99. So you could have developed 2,400 points in the game or just drop $20 to use Snoop Dogg in your next Call of Duty session. So that would be pretty cool if I was out there playing Call of Duty and I see someone shooting at me and it's Snoop Dogg with his bong rifle. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool.
That's probably that's one of the coolest, the absolutely coolest downloadable characters I think of all time, and it can't be argued. There's no debate. But there's always room for debate on Super Radio Brother Sports. Trent, take it away.
Well, let's start with a little baseball. Our baseball team, first of all, I got to tell you, man, the American League East, we had a feeling that it was going to be, that team could come around like we talked about before the show. But right now, if you're listening, late Wednesday night, it's, 2 weeks of the baseball season. You're going to see the 2-week mark tomorrow, with it being Thursday. And, of course, a lot of teams that open the season on Friday, April 8th. You're going to see the 2-week mark take place on Friday. But you're seeing, once again, 3 out of the 5 Major League Baseball teams in the American League East have the same record. They're right around 500. No team has taken off as of yet. I'm going to start real quick talking about my Tampa Bay Rays. They had a disappointing series in Chicago after losing 3 out of 4 to the lowly Oakland Athletics, who basically have the lowest payroll in Major League Baseball. How can you do that, Rich? How can you lose 3 out of 4? And just the way that they did it.
How can you lose 2 out of 3 against the Baltimore Orioles? Don't get me started, Trent. You're preaching to the choir.
Well, and the thing about it is, you lost one of those games on a literal walk-off walk with the bases loaded. That you talk about literally walking it off. That's basically what they did.
That's a walk-off walk.
I watched the end of that game, and I couldn't help but to laugh. I watched the very end of that game.
Oh, the worst part about that game is you can't score more than 1 run the whole game. The Yankees couldn't even score a run with the ghost runner. This game went 11 innings. You can't even score a run when a runner is gifted to you at second base against the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, that is awful.
It really is, and that's the whole thing. Is you're going to have the ghost runner for a little while. At least to start off with right now, according to Major League Baseball, they were going to get rid of it, but it looks like right now they're going to keep it. Are they going to keep it for the rest of the season? I guess, Rich.
Yeah, they're going to keep it for the entire season. Obviously, they don't. Postseason is a different story. No ghost runner in the postseason, but for the regular season, we'll see the ghost runner.
Regular season, okay.
By the way, we are recording this episode of Super Radio Brothers Wednesday night, April 20th. And it ain't looking good for the Brooklyn Nets right now in Game 2 in Boston. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, one of the more disappointing regular seasons in NBA history for a couple of big-time superstars. 7th seed, so you have to face elite competition in the first round against the Boston Celtics. But you still had a lot of people out there picking the Brooklyn Nets in this series. With 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter, it's Boston 105, Brooklyn 96. Brooklyn about to go down 0-2 in this series, and that
and just the way they did it, Rich, they collapsed. Brooklyn played so well in the first half of this game. They were up by 17, and all of a sudden, almost at the end of the third quarter, Boston was down 5, and then Jaylen Brown and Pritchard and of course Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have had off nights, but otherwise you've got several guys coming in and making big shots, and guys off the bench making shots. Kevin Durant had 5 fouls like early in the fourth quarter of that game. So we'll see what happens. It's very interesting recording this show live while the game is happening, because you look at the Celtics, the Celtics have shown they can come back, and you look at the crowd at TD Garden, nobody is sitting in that place. Everybody's just jamming. Everybody's like having a good old time. And
oh my God.
I thought the roof was going to blow off that place.
Speaking of which, Jason Tatum just hit a 3 to make it 108-96 with 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go. And who's come up really small in this series? Kevin Durant, man, in this game right now, 21 points. 5 assists in 40 minutes. That's not getting it done. Your KD on the road in a game like this, you got to drop 30, 35. You got to lead your team to victory.
And you look, and Brooklyn had several second chance points in the first half, and it's some even in the second half, because the Celtics didn't do a good job in the first half of boxing out. Brooklyn had a chance to get offensive rebounds. If Irving were to miss a shot, you'd have several guys kind of picking up and doing the kick out for the 3-pointer. So everything was basically going right for the Brooklyn Nets in the first half. And then in the second half, it's a tale of two halves. They just, I don't know what happened. They can't sustain a 4-quarter pace, it seems, right now.
And the Nets, they can almost survive a mediocre performance from Durant in the first game, because Kyrie Irving was incredible in that first game. I mean, he put on a show. The dude was amazing. He's not doing it tonight. 10 points. So big time. If he was going to have a disappointing game tonight, you needed Kevin Durant to drop 30 to 40 points in this game to try to get you to the finish line, get you what you needed to split in the first 2 games, get back to Brooklyn with that split. But, hey, a lot of people doubted the Celtics going into this series. They're too young. The tandem of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, not enough to compete with the tandem of Durant and Irving. But one thing that's really come through here in these first 2 games, the Nets cannot play defense. They can't stop anybody. And what was a worse problem than I expected, they can't get rebounds, man. I mean, the Celtics dominating the boards in this series, dominating defensively. Just look at the numbers between Durant and Irving in this game. And you get what many people is a really surprising result here. 90 seconds left in the game, and the Celtics up by 10 points. I'll keep you up to date on that, Trent. You're talking about the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah. I'm so into this NBA playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I know I changed this up, but I was just so shocked when I saw that, because I'm kind of keeping an eye on that and the Yankee games. Yankees lead 5-3 late in the, I know you're happy about that. Late in their game with the Detroit Tigers right now, but
it's too early to get up in arms about the standings. It's just baseball is such a long season. Talk to me when you get to Memorial Day around June, then we can start talking standings. But,
you gotta look at your team. What are you doing well right now? What are you not doing well? What are you not doing well that you're sure is going to improve, right? Guys are going to live up to the back of their baseball cards eventually by the end of the season. Pathetic performance if you're going to lose 3 out of 4 against the Oakland Athletics. If you're the Tampa Bay Rays, and maybe even more so, but definitely just as pathetic, losing 2 out of 3 against Baltimore if you're the Yankees, especially in the fashion that you lost it. You scored 6 runs in 3 games against the Baltimore Orioles. You had an 11-inning game where you scored 1 run, and you know, you had 2 innings with the ghost runner, and you couldn't get it done. So you know, and you could sit here and you could go crazy on Chapman for walking in the runner there in the 11th inning to give the Orioles that walk-off win. But you know what? Yankees had 11 innings to score more than 1 run. Chapman's been terrible so far here and there. That's another story. You start to worry, well, look at how bad Cole has been. Yankees don't have an ace. Well, maybe the Yankees don't have a closer. Maybe the Yankees don't have a closer, because my goodness, Chapman's been awful at the beginning of the season as well. Other than that, Yankees are getting great pitching. You're seeing Severino, even though none of these pitchers can get out of the 5th inning. You know, how are the Yankees going to have any bullpen by the end of the year? Right now, they have one of the best bullpen ERAs, one of the best pitching staff ERAs, which is shocking when the guy who's supposed to be your ace can't get out of the 2nd inning and your closer can't throw a strike. And the Yankees still have one of the top ERAs in baseball right now. It hasn't been pitching that's been necessarily the issue with the Yankees. You know, the first game against the Detroit Tigers, that series over the week, that was a great example of what's wrong with this Yankee team. Yes, they win that game. They win 4-2. 2 of those runs were scored early on an error by the catcher because he can't catch a pop fly on the infield. You know, you score 2 runs that way. But the Yankees strike out 13 times in this game. It's an extremely boring game. You know, Yankees are having – Judge strikes out 3 times in that game. The Yankees are having extreme problems here early in the season offensively. So not a lot of guys – 2 guys really that have gotten the job done when you're looking at an Aaron Hicks, who has a high on-base percentage. He's actually getting some hits. And DJ LeMahieu, those 2 guys have actually had a decent open to the season. Everybody else has been absolutely awful. This team just can't score runs right now. But as you said, it's early in the season, and they're pretty much on pace with everybody else in the division. And I said it in the last show, Trent. It's just so many things to remind you of last year if you're a Yankee fan right now. It's like nothing's changed with this team.
Well, and it's kind of the same thing with the Rays. I mean, the Rays are not playing as crisp baseball as they did at the beginning of the season when they played the Baltimore Orioles. Now, that's comparing kind of apples to oranges, if you know what I mean, because Baltimore last year lost 110 games. Tampa Bay went 18-1 against the Orioles. That's well documented on this show. But you know, the Rays have a tendency to, you know, if they're better than a team, they have a tendency to kind of play down to their competition and let the other team kind of walk over them. And that's what they did with the Oakland Athletics, who are expected to lose 100 games this year. The White Sox are a little bit better of a team, and they didn't have Lucas Giolito, and they don't have A.J. Pollock right now, but they still have some great guys in that lineup. They still have Jose Abreu. They still have, you know, and they have a manager, and Tony La Russa, that came back to manage. But and you can't forget about their closer, Liam Hendricks. That White Sox bullpen, for the most part, was locked in over that series. Tampa lost the first 2 games of that series. Friday night was a close game. Saturday, you know, was a close game as well. They were both 3-2 games. And then on Sunday, the Rays kind of ran away with it, scoring almost 10 runs to beat the White Sox. And it looks like they've kind of started to have a little bit better week, though. They're playing the Chicago Cubs this week. Monday, they lost that game. It was a close one. They were doubled up 4-2, and then on Tuesday, they ended up winning the game in extra innings after nearly blowing a big lead. Tampa got off to a huge lead early on in Tuesday night's game. But they ended up winning it 6-5. And same thing with Wednesday. You know, Wednesday, of course, we're recording this tonight. At last check, the Rays and the Cubs were in the bottom of the 6th delayed. They actually moved the start time up to 6:40 instead of 7:40 Eastern time, so that would have been 5:40 in the Central time zone instead of 6:40 in the Central, because of the bad weather that was expected to kind of go through Chicago. And so they have played 5 full innings, so it would count as a regulation game if they are unable to get the game back underway. I haven't checked it here in the last few minutes, so we don't know. But anyway, it looks like the Rays are going to take 2 out of 3 from Chicago. And Neil Solondz of the Rays radio postgame show said it best. He said, if you ultimately win series, you're not going to win every game. But if you start taking 2 out of 3 from people on a consistent basis, you're going to be fine. And that's true. I mean, people talk about, trying to win every game in baseball. You're not going to do that. But if you focus on the bigger picture and winning series, you're going to be okay. And that's one other thing that I'm going to talk about. The other thing I'm going to kind of end with, the Rays have to stop shooting themselves in the foot. They've been running into outs on the bases. When they've had, rallies, they haven't been able to score more than 1 run at a time, it seems like. Perfect example, on Monday night, they ended up tying the game at 2, and they had runners on first and third, and they were only able to get 1 run out of it. Well, sometimes you're lucky if you're the Rays offense to get 1 run, because offensively they struggle in situations like that, with this year being no exception. But I think when you have runners on first and third, and when you have a pitcher on the ropes, you have to take advantage and you have to score as many runs as possible, because you don't know when you're going to get that chance again. So my criticisms for the Rays would be score more runs when you have the opportunity, when the bases are loaded, or when you have runners on base. Stop leaving chicken on the bone, and stop making dumb base running mistakes as well. And you're not seeing the same effort defensively from Kevin Kiermaier as you normally would. Of course, Kevin Kiermaier's never really been all that great offensively, but you're really kind of not seeing that effort that you're used to seeing, and it's unfortunate. In terms of effort, Brett Phillips is showing more effort than Kevin Kiermaier is. Brett Phillips, he's not that talented. Yes, he can play some defense, but he's not as great as Kiermaier. Kiermaier is a lot better center fielder than Phillips would be, but Phillips shows that effort every day, and you're starting to see that kind of lackluster effort kind of performances from Kiermaier, and Kiermaier has been with the Rays for several years. So that's just the Rays in a nutshell. They got to stop shooting themselves in the foot. They got to score more when they have the opportunity, and if they keep winning series, they're going to be fine.
There you go. That's the baseball. Yeah, I mean, all of these teams are in that same boat early in the season. If the Yankees get this game tonight, they'll win another series. So far, they did lose a series against Baltimore, which is terrible, but you opened the season taking 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox, splitting with the Blue Jays, which shows how it's just a microcosm here early in the season, how that hurts you, losing to Baltimore. Because you come out of that, you basically survive the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, right? Two of the elite teams in the division. You come out of that, you're 4-3, and you got a chance. As I said last week, you get fat on Baltimore. Let's say you sweep Baltimore. Now you're 7-3, and it just didn't go that way. Instead, you lose 2 out of 3, which is just whoa, and you're 5-5. It's a big difference. 7-3 and 5-5 there early. That's sole possession of first place, feeling good about yourself, taking care of lesser competition, doing what you're supposed to do. But instead, as it is, you come out here, you face another team that's a pretty bad team in Detroit, and it looks like they're taking care of business there. They'll get this series, and then you got the Cleveland Guardians, who have also had a kind of up and down start to their season over the weekend. So, hey, what you can say about the Yankees is, if you want it to be positive, is they're pretty much keeping pace with everybody else in the division right now. But sometimes you have the eye test, and you look at your team, and you've seen what's gone on here the last couple of years, and when you feel like nothing's changed, you feel like, well, last couple of years, they weren't good enough. Has anything changed? Because if it hasn't, if my assessment, the eye test, that nothing has changed is true, well, they weren't good enough last year. They weren't good enough the year before that. What makes you think they're going to be good enough to do anything this year? So, but that's why they play the games, and that's why there are 162 games. We're just getting started here.
Well, let me tell you, man, real quick, I just have to let you know that the two updates. After blowing a 17-point lead, the Brooklyn Nets did lose to the Boston Celtics, so we got a crucial Game 3 Saturday night. That should be an interesting game in the NBA playoffs. Boy, that series, the trajectory has definitely shifted. There's no doubt about that. And in terms of the Rays, it's official. They did take 2 out of 3 from the Chicago Cubs because they called the game because of that inclement weather. So they were able to get a full 5 innings in. The Rays did win that game pretty handily. And so they got the Boston Red Sox coming in, which, by the way, Rich, I'm going to my first Rays game of the season this Sunday. I'm actually headed out to Tropicana Field to watch the Rays play the Red Sox. Thanks to Rays Radio, they got me some tickets. I'm going to take, I think, my mom and a couple of other people, a couple of other friends of hers want to go to the game too. So we're all going to have a good time and go to dinner afterwards. And so it'll be a ball. So looking forward to going to Tampa and watching it happen.
All right. Have a good time. Enjoy being at the ballpark. Not many things better than that. I love it. I think it's the best. Anything else in sports, Trent?
That's really it, man. You know, it's kind of a baseball's in full swing. I can't wait to talk more about the NBA playoffs next week. And that's the sports.
That, as they say, as Trent just said, is the sports. Very well.
It's time to sit down and unwind and listen to the Couch Report.
Oh, the Couch Report. Yes. Trent, what's going on?
I just feel so relaxed right now.
I just about fell asleep. But
I know, that it's about that time too. Everything is doing fine here on the Couch Report, getting ever so close to graduation. I mentioned on last week's show that I wasn't sure whether I had been selected for the commencement speaker. I mentioned on our other show, Out of Sight Sports, which while I'm at it, Out of Sight Sports, Saturday morning, 7:30 on WNZF, 94.9 FM, and you can listen via the Flagler radio app if you can't catch it live. Anyway, it's just a side note plug. Had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mentioned that I wasn't sure if they selected me for the commencement speaker. I did find out on Friday of last week that, yes, I have been selected for the commencement speaker, and I will be speaking at the graduation ceremony that I will be participating in. So that's big news. Really looking forward to addressing not just my graduates, but dignitaries that are going to attend the ceremony, along with the president, vice president, South Florida State College's board of trustees. It's all going to be fun. The ceremony takes place Tuesday, May 10th at 4:30 in the afternoon. And yes, it will be live streamed. So we'll make sure to get that information out to you. Otherwise, the reason we're recording on a Wednesday night is because I have my penultimate baseball game of the season. Rich, I'll explain that word to you if you don't know what the penultimate means.
Yeah, it's an ultimate pen.
Right.
It's the ultimate pen. It's the second to last ultimate pen.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But the second to last, it's gonna be a fun thing. Second to last baseball game. It doesn't look like the Avon Park Red Devils, even if they do get in the district tournament, even if they win a game, I don't know that they'll have a game at home. So it may be baseball season slowly wrapping up, but it's been a fun ride. I just wish they could have, gotten more clutch hits with runners in scoring position. But hey, that's baseball for you. They still overall had a good year. Congratulations to all the seniors. We're going to be honoring them next Tuesday night, April 26th, for senior night. So that's going to be a nice time, and we'll take care of that. And then had a couple of weeks off from the band. We'll be back at it on April 30th and May 7th to kind of close out the band season. So my time is slowly freeing up, as I've been saying, to kind of actually sit on the couch for a little bit and take a deep breath in. Watch some TV. What have I watched this week? I watched Name That Tune. A friend of mine wanted me to watch Name That Tune.
Is that like a new show or like old stuff?
Well, it's kind of it's a newer show, kind of taking the older version and kind of making it their own. So it's I forgot the host. I can't think of the host's name on it, but it's on every Tuesday night. I love Name That Tune, and it's if you get a certain amount of tunes named in a certain amount of time, you win a bunch of money. So it's pretty cool. I'd say I got my average was in the 80s, so I'd say I got a B on it. So I'll try to improve my average from a B to an A at some point. But
it says Name That Tune host is Jane Krakowski.
Yes, that's who it is.
I don't even know who she is.
Well, that's good. I'm proud. I'm proud. Jane Krakowski. Yeah, is that how do you say her name again?
Oh, I know who she is. Oh yeah, she was in she was in that show, 30 Rock. Yeah, she's famous. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm
She's
surprised. I
funny.
thought I was going to make history saying, you don't know who somebody is. That's cool.
I don't know who a lot of people are, Trent. Who are you?
Yeah. Who are you?
Who are
but
you?
other than that, that's really my couch report.
Who? Oh, sorry, Trent.
Yeah. I understand.
You get it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically my couch report. As things are winding down in terms of the college graduation. Finally, looking forward to being able to catch up on the sleep that I missed while I've been enduring this crazy semester. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, congratulations! A lot of cool stuff going on with you, and well deserved for sure. Video game wise, and not a lot of gaming, but I have been jumping back and forth between NBA 2K and MLB The Show, so kind of into those two games right now. I did pick up a new game called Sifu, which is basically a fighting game, which is a lot of fun actually. It has an interesting concept to it. It's kind of like an old school. We were talking about Streets of Rage earlier, and I remember a Final Fight where you kind of just walk through areas and get into fights. There's like 6-7 people fighting you. Sifu is pretty. It's pretty intricate as far as the fights are concerned, and all the moves that you have to learn. And the interesting thing about it, though, is every time you lose or you die, you age a year. So you start at 20 years old, and then when you die, obviously you become 21, and the more you die, the more years it takes off. So you have to not get old, basically. But the more you die, the better you get. Like, you learn more moves, and you get better at the game. So I played the first level, and I mean, within the first half hour of playing the game, I think I was 70 years old, because I kept dying.
Wow.
I suck. But no, I got a little better. But I love the animations. I love the kung fu moves. It looks really cool. It's fun to play. I'm really digging it. And it's not it's not like a lot of these next gen console games, new games are, $70. This one's only $40. So it's pretty cool. I think it's worth it, especially if you're a martial arts fan and you dig old kung fu movies and stuff like that. It's one of the best. I've only played it for about 30 minutes or so, but it's already one of the best kung fu games I've ever played. Few and far between. I think of what's the name of that game from way back in the day? Jade Empire.
I have it on the tip of my tongue. I just can't.
Thank you, Trent. You reminded me. Jade Empire was another great one way back in the two very different games. Jade Empire was kind of like this open world, choose your own adventure type of, a lot of what happened in the game relied on your decisions and that you made through dialogue with other NPCs and stuff like that. So Jade Empire was pretty great. The fighting in this game is just another level. One of the best games for that ever, for sure. So I've been enjoying that. Man, I love this show, Winning Time. I really do. The rise of the Los Angeles Laker dynasty. It's such a good show. I love John C. Reilly, but I love everybody in it. The dude they have playing Pat Riley, I forget his name, but you've seen him in a ton of different things. He's a pretty famous actor. A lot of guys jump up in there that Red Auerbach is played by Michael Chiklis. He plays Thing in those old Fantastic Four movies, star of The Shield. He's an awesome actor. He plays Red Auerbach in the show. Just all the basketball historic figures, the royalty, and how amazing of a season that this actually is. And, the story being told, I think the show creator is Adam McKay. And, of course, just the story is a great story to tell. So in the last episode, the 7th episode, was the first episode where you get to see Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics. It's the Lakers' first visit to the Boston Garden. and it's pretty great. So they don't exactly cast Larry Bird and Boston in general in a very positive light. And I think the theme of the entire episode was F Boston. So, I have no problem with that. And it was great. So it's just such a great show. Right now it's, 7th episode. I believe it's 10 episodes in the first, I don't know if there's going to be more than one season, but if it's just this season, that's fine. That might actually even be better. But, man, 7 episodes, 3 more to go. I'm loving it, man. It's really a great show. Really, really enjoying that. Better Call Saul is back, the spin-off series from Breaking Bad, starring Bob Odenkirk, of course, Saul Goodman. That's back for its 6th and final season. You got a 2-hour season premiere on Monday, and it was pretty good. It was obviously you knew at the end of last season that there was going to be trouble when they went after that the big drug guy, the cartel leader, and he didn't die.
Yes.
So a lot of interesting storylines going on there. Nacho running for his life. Of course, Jimmy and Kim got another diabolical scheme that they're working on. So really, really cool stuff and cool Mike stuff. Everybody knows Mike from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Really cool Mike stuff there from the first 2 episodes. So that's cool that's back. That you're actually going to get 13 episodes here, the final season there. We have 1 episode left. I watched the penultimate episode, Trent, last week, the 9th episode, penultimate.
I love it. I love that word.
And I'm a big Penn and Teller fan as well. I like magic. No, I'm not a big fan. But yeah, great episode for the 9th episode. Boyd finally decides that he's going to go into the woods and see if he could find a way out of this godforsaken place, this hell on earth or between worlds or wherever the heck these people are trapped, where these monsters hunt them at nighttime and there's no escape from. So I love this show. I think it's great, and I can't wait for the 10th episode, because the way episode 9 ended made you feel like, man, I wish this was like the old school days in Netflix where every episode was dropped all at once, because I would have binged all the way to the end. That's how much I love that show. Moon Knight episode 3, talked about it a little bit last week. Got the video up, Super Radio Brother highlights for that full review. Episode 4 out this week. I have not watched it yet, but I do intend on watching it at some point this weekend and getting another video out to you guys before the next episode comes out. That's kind of been the recipe. Give you a chance to, no spoilers, give you a chance to watch it over the weekend and give you a review before the next episode comes out. So that's been kind of our schedule with that here. This is Star Trek Picard. It's running toward its end here. I really enjoyed the first 7 episodes. It is bordering on feeling like a lot of filler toward the end here. Let's not forget, again, this is based on Star Trek 4 Voyage Home. That was a 2-hour movie. They're trying to give you 10 episodes out of this, and I really feel like last couple episodes, not a lot has happened, but I still think it's been a great season there. Picard season 2. And yeah, I would say that's about it as far as but how much more can we watch here, Trent? Halo, Paramount Plus, that's also been surprisingly good, based on a video game that I don't even like or ever really got into, but the show's pretty darn good, so I've enjoyed that as well. And yeah, that's what's been going on my couch. A lot of cool stuff going on. Unfortunately, not much to report on the amateur astronomy thing. It's just been an awful couple of weeks here. If the moonlight is, and I did get a chance to, unless you want to look at the moon, there were a couple good nights, and I got some good pictures imaging the moon for the first time with my new telescope. So that was cool. But other than that, moon is not good if you're trying to search for deep sky objects, and that's what I'm into, galaxies and planetary nebula and star clusters, all those things you find in deep space. Any kind of light is a bad thing, and moonlight just drowns everything out. You can't see anything when the moon is up there. So if it wasn't the moon these past 2 weeks, it's been cloudy, raining nights. So after a prolific beginning where I had a couple of weeks there of clear skies and some incredible experiences, these past couple of weeks have been awash with clouds and the moon. But hopefully that changes soon, and I could get back out there. I'm really looking forward to checking out the Black Eye Galaxy again, the Leo triplet, Whirlpool Galaxy, all these things I've been checking out because, man, I've only seen them a handful of times, and I want to keep checking it out. And that's what's going on with me. Anything else from you, Trent?
Well, what a great show. Another great show. Hopefully we're talking more about the NBA playoffs next week. We're going to have a blast. And, man, these episodes fly by, Rich. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, and we are having fun. I hope you had fun, too. Don't forget Super Radio Brother highlights, Super Radio Brothers on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, the whole thing. Check it out, the Super Radio Brothers. We're big fans of you. Come on back. In the words of Bob Dylan, time is an ocean, but it ends at the shore. The Super Radio Brothers have reached the shore. See ya!
Bye, y'all.